Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. So let's begin with the webinar about customer drop-offs, how to identify them, and strategies for reduction and increasing your conversion. Welcome. I am Narsingh. I work as senior business analyst here at miniOrange. I will be co-hosting this webinar along with my colleague Ananya, who works as software engineer here at miniOrange. Ananya, can you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Ananya Nigotia, and I work here as a software engineer at miniOrange with around 3 years of experience working on Shopify apps and integration. And yeah, so good to see all of you here.
Thank you, Ananya. Thank you for the quick introduction. So let's begin with the webinar. I will give you a quick introduction about miniOrange. So miniOrange is a organization that is specialized into solutions related to identity access and management. We have been into this industry with over 12 plus years of experience. We provide multiple solutions on different e-commerce platforms like Shopify, Magento, Adobe Commerce, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, which include solutions like single sign-on, passwordless login, content restriction, many other solutions regarding advanced access controls and workflow automation. Our solutions provide allow store owners to provide their customers seamless experience. We are proud to serve 25,000 plus customers worldwide who uses our security solutions to increase their performance and work on their growth. Our expertise just not end with these solutions on marketplaces. We provide solutions in other cybersecurity verticals like data loss prevention, privileged access management, cloud access security broker, apart from our complete suite related to identity access and management. So yeah, that's the quick introduction about miniOrange. Now let's directly dive into our topic today, which is customer drop-offs. So in today's webinar, we will discuss one of the biggest challenge faced by the e-commerce merchants today, which is customer drop-offs. We will guide you during this webinar about identifying drop-off points, understanding why they happen, and most importantly, how to fix them to improve conversions. By the end of this webinar, you will walk away with clear understanding of where your potential buyers might be slipping away and how to re-engage them effectively. Let's dive in. This is where all it begins. Understanding your customer drop-offs is the most crucial thing. Think of your online store like a retail outlet. If people keep walking in, looking around, and leave without buying anything, you as a store owner would probably want to know why, right? Online is no different. If we don't know where and why people are leaving, we can't fix it. In most of the cases, these drop-offs are silent. There are no alerts, no notification, but the impact is massive. That's why, before anything else, before optimization, before spending a lot of money and time on campaigns, we need to understand where we are losing customers, potential buyers. Let's get into some sobering statistics that really set the stage why this topic is so critical. Data shows that roughly 97% of visitors leave without making a purchase. That's almost everyone. Even those who show some kind of intent, maybe like adding a product or like adding a product to the cart, out of them, around 70% drop off before completing the purchase. Isn't that huge? There's a famous saying that there are no second chances to create first impression. It is the same for online store as well. So the first impression is everything. Research show that most of the users today decide whether to stay or leave on a website in less than 10 seconds. We live in an age of instant gratification and limited attention spans. So if our site or if your site doesn't immediately grab attention and provide a clear path forward to potential buyers or the visitors, the opportunity is gone. The business opportunity is clearly gone. So what does this all mean? Quite simply, every single drop off is pure lost revenue. It's just money left on the table. So even small improvements here can make a big difference. Now, I know these numbers can feel overwhelming or perhaps a bit discouraging, right? But here is the powerful counter narrative and why are we so passionate about this topic. Our data shows that reducing drop-off even by small margin can lead to significant revenue growth. For example, a 10% improvement in the conversion rate can double your profits. Imagine this, just 10% increase in conversion rate can actually double your profit. It would sound surprising to many of you, but here is why it happens. you have already done the hard part. You have already paid to bring those visitors onto your stores. You have spent on ads, you have spent on SEO, you have spent on social media marketing, you have worked on content. So every extra sale from the same traffic is almost pure profit. It's like finding money in your own house, which you didn't know already existed. As you already done the hard part of getting people to your site, now instead of bringing more traffic, you focus on getting most of what you already have. Think of this like a leaky bucket. Rather than pouring in more water, it's smarter to plug the holes. Fixing those small drop-offs where visitors leave before buying can give you massive returns with minimal efforts. These are truly low hanging fruit that most of the businesses overlook. So before we go to the next part of webinar, we have added few poll questions during this webinar to help us understand better, help us better understand and get insights about issues or probably problems you are facing. So there is a poll coming your way. I will wait for 10 seconds to answer it and then we can go ahead with the webinar. Let's go to the next part, which is what exactly are customer drop-offs? So far, we saw few statistics around why this topic is important and why any store owner should pay attention on it. But let's define it in very simple words for better understanding. So what actually customer drop-offs are? In very simple word, a drop-off is nothing but a point in the online journey or online shopping journey where any visitor that coming to your store leave before completing the intended action, which is making the purchase. So the person could drop off at any stage, like maybe just before making the purchase, or while signing up an account, or just even while adding a product to the cart. Imagine your store like a funnel. At the top of that is like where people land onto your store. And as they scroll, click on the products and move towards the checkout. They're all progressing in the lower stages of the funnel. But at each stage, some of them exit. And that's what we call as drop off. If someone uses the product and leaves without clicking add to cart, that's a drop off. If they are halfway through the account registration and abandon it due to any reason, that's another example of drop off. But it is very crucial to understand each one of this tell us something about that there is something that needs to be fixed or clarified. And that's what we will mostly look into this webinar. You added few common scenarios that you as a store owner would face on day-to-day basis. So let's get over the scenarios. First example is, let's say a visitor lands onto your site, looks at one page and leaves immediately. That's called bounce. And it's a major sign that either your landing page didn't deliver or the visitor didn't find what they expected. Another example is the classic abandoned cart example. A shopper adds item to its cart but never finished the purchase. Maybe shopping cost surprised them, maybe checkout was too long. Something caused them to hesitate and leave. There is another famous most occurring scenario, which is during account registration. A user start filling the form and then they get frustrated, maybe due to a lot of options or maybe due to unnecessary information asked during registration, and they make the second guesses about the value of signing up, and they just drop the purchase. Some users even click on the product page but does not interact with the, let's say for a product there are multiple sizes or colors available, so they don't interact or doesn't add to cart. So that's more like a passive browsing with not proper interest or not active interest. Each of these movements tell you where your shopping journey is breaking down. When you can identify these patterns, then only you can fix them, right? That's where real opportunity lies. So we so far cover like what drop-offs is and what they mean, but how does they matters to us, or why does they matter so much to us? Because there is definitely certain business impact that is involved in this. So before going ahead, there is one more poll question addressing where you want to feel most of which addresses like where do you feel most of your customers would drop off into the sales funnel onto your Shopify store. So I would like you to answer that. So the poll is on your way. Please take time and addresses. I will wait for 10 seconds. Thank you. So let's go ahead. This is where it hurts the most. Drop off doesn't just cost you a sale, they impact your entire business. They reduce your ROI, increase your acquisition cost as you already spend money on bringing traffic. You need to spend more to get more and limit your ability to scale. Many businesses I hear normalizing drop offs. Oh, yeah, it's just that's how online works. Or, oh, yes, this is how online works. But in reality, this hidden leaks are costing you more than what we think. And the longer they go unchecked, the more they add up. The numbers most of the people think, or most of the merchants think, are not such a big or such huge, but they're bigger than what most of the merchants realize. It's not just about losing a single sale or two. It's about the cumulative effect and the opportunity cost of every single visitor who does not convert. We have brought a few stats for you from few data sources that shows how big these numbers are. As per a report, around 2024, or as per 2024 report, around $18 billion in sales was lost globally due to cart abandonment. Just imagine $18 billion, how big that number is. On the top of that, on the mobile, the abandoned cart rate is even worse. It's about 85%. So if your checkout process isn't absolutely seamless and optimized for mobile, you're losing nearly 9 out of 10 potential mobile buyers. 55% of users abandoned because of unexpected charges like shipping and taxes, which shows how important it is to clearly define that charges or whatever we are costing. 48% of the buyers leave if there aren't enough payment options. And finally, a foundational issue: 28% of shoppers leave if the checkout is too hard. They're at the last stage of buying and they are leaving. That's so hurtful for any store owner. This speaks to friction like long forms, too many steps, confusing navigation, or lack of guest checkout option. So the key here is simplicity and ease of use. But what's next? What's the fix? So understanding this patterns and designing experience that reduces friction is the fix. These things, or this does not just cause the revenue impact, but there is a brand and customer trust impact as well. A poor store or a poor user experience can lead to frustration to the customers. A frustrated customer always leads to poor word of mouth, which leads to unreliability and ultimately losing the loyalty of customers. Also, if the customer is not able to understand things, it increases the support burden, and we also miss upselling opportunities. The ultimate impact comes down to a lost revenue. A lot of money that is already spent on marketing, on ads, on social media channels is wasted, and more money need to be spent to acquire more users to increase conversion, thus declining our profits. So what we can do about it? So we discussed the business impact and what customer drop off exactly means, and so some statistics so far. But it is very, very crucial that there should be some kind of methods using which we can identify them. So we have added two demos in this webinar to help you identify customer drop offs onto your Shopify store. This demonstration will cover two tools. One is via Shopify Analytics and one is via Google Analytics. We have covered short demonstrations which show you how you can do it or how you can identify customer drop-offs. So let's directly go to the demo. Just give me a minute. Just give me a second. I will fetch the demo. I hope everybody can see it now. So this is Shopify admin storefront. In Shopify admin storefront, you can go to analytics, and inside analytics, you can go to reports. In reports, you will find multiple reports. In that, search for conversion rate over time. In that, you will be able to find this funnel. This funnel shows the multiple stages at which a user is visiting the store, and out of that, how much they are going down the funnel. So the first point defines the sessions, or the total number of visits that happen on the store. If this number is low, then it suggests that more efforts need to be spent on marketing to get or attract more traffic. But if, as in this scenario, this number is good, so the focus here would be now on the other parts or on the latter stages, which is improvements inside the store. We already done the hard part of bringing the traffic to the store. So the second step is add to cart. If this number is low, if you find issues that most of your users are losing here, then this can point to the issues like the product is not clear, or the images that are into the product is not clear, there is not proper description, or pricing is not highlighted properly, or there can be issues related to not multiple options available in the products, or multiple sub options available inside the product, or whatever, where user is not sure if you want to add the product to the cart or would like to proceed with the next step of purchase. Also, there can be chances that the visitors that are coming to the stores may not all be relevant. So we may be targeting the users that are having let's say other intent to buy, and we are spending money on the wrong ad. So we can use proper targeting of keywords or SEO in that way, so we can attract more users. The third stage is where a user has reached the checkout. This shows that this is one of the last stages and most crucial stages. So if a user is dropping at this stage, it's very hurtful for any store owner. So if somebody is losing at this stage, it points to issues in the checkout, which may be not a seamless checkout experience, or there can be long forms at the checkout, or there can be pricing issues or sudden price increases due to additional delivery charges or taxes, or any additional hidden cost that may have been added, which customers was unaware. There can be unclear return policies that customer is unsure if you want to go ahead with the purchase. It can be anything. If the if your customers are losing at this stage, it's very crucial to go and check what are the main reasons for that. If most of your customers who are starting with add to cart and getting to completed checkout, then that's fine. If you're losing customer in this funnel, it is very crucial for you to understand and make action points on that. So apart from this, we have also added, or we have also used few other reports for your better understanding. So in this, you can search for another report called bounce rate over time. So as you can see in this, you will be able to observe that there is bounce rate on your store, which shows that the user has left within first 10 seconds, which points that the user experience on the website is not optimized. Either the page time is very slow, or the website is taking a lot of time to load, or the proper CTAs or click to action buttons are not in place, or the user is not is having clarity on what to do. So bad or a high bounce rate, it's really bad for your Shopify store or for any e-commerce store, as you're losing most of your customers just because they're not able to, or just because they're having first bad impression as they land on the store. So there is short data that shows how crucial it is to know. You can see from the duration of 11th April to 11th May, the bounce rate is 66%, and from 12th May to 11th June is 75%. So there is 12 to 13% jump in bounce rate, which points out that something is not right on the store and that needs to be fixed. So these are the pointers, or these are the symptoms that shows that something is not well with the health of our store and it needs to be addressed immediately. So one more report that is crucial to check is by sessions by device type. So you need to optimize your Shopify store or your e-commerce store for the devices from which your customers are coming. Today is the world of mobiles and multiple other types of electronic devices. So a store optimized for all device type is very, very crucial. You can just get data from this where most of your traffic is coming from. The last one that we will see is sessions by landing page. So these are the sub pages that we are having in our landing pages. This will show where most of my traffic is coming from. From this, you can make action items like, let's say you want most of your users to come to innovation sandbox page or agenda page, and they're not able to land there. So as your action items can be prepared there, paid ads, action points can be prepared there, and it can be worked accordingly. So you can decide where most of your users are coming and place proper call to action buttons to direct your users to the right page. These are the action items that can be prepared, and multiple other things or multiple other data points can be observed from this. So this was a quick or few charts or few data points that we felt important for the purpose of this webinar. But Shopify provides over 150 parameters. You can go and compare them and check. Let's go ahead with the next part, which is about Google Analytics. So let's see that. So far we saw how we can use Shopify Analytics to get the understanding where are we actually losing our customers, or what are the possible issues that our website or our e-commerce store is having. But in Shopify, there is limited data set available when you compare with other free tools like Google Analytics, which provides more in-depth analytics and more in-depth parameters than Shopify. So we have added this as well in this webinar, where you will get in-depth understanding of what extra can be observed. So if you want to see just basic things, you can go ahead with the Shopify Analytics. If you want to see extra in detail parameters or advanced parameters, you can go ahead with the Google Analytics. So before we proceed, we have a small demo video which shows how you can connect your Shopify store to Google Analytics. So it's a 3-4 step process where you need to get a GA4 code from Google Analytics and add into your Shopify store. So I will just play that video. You can have a look. So connecting your Shopify store to Google Analytics using a GA4 code. You just need to navigate to analytics.google.com. This is the website or this is a tool that's provided by Google. Inside the Google Analytics dashboard, you will, on the bottom left, you can see admin, right? Click on the admin, and on the top left corner, you will be able to see a create button. Click on that. There are two options, account and property. Select property. Using this, we will create a GA4 property. Once we go inside GA4 property, you can put the name of your choice, whatever you want. And if you want to change few other details that are available, you can, or else we can go to the next step. Enter the detail of your business, probably industry you're working into, and let's take shopping, for example, in this scenario, and whatever size your organization is. Select why you want this to use this and just proceed. We are almost at the last step. Choose the platform maybe which you want to connect with. So for this webinar, we will be connecting a Shopify store. So we'll select web. You can select Android app as well as an iOS app. Enter your store URL which you want to connect with Google Analytics and name it. Boom, we are done. We have now successfully created a GA4 property. Just copy this code and go back to your Shopify store admin. Once you are done with creating a GA4 property, just go back to your Shopify store admin. Inside that, you will be able to see an option in sales channel. Inside, go to themes, and in themes, just edit the code. You need to edit themes.liquid file. So in themes.liquid file, inside the header, you just need to paste this code and we are done. We have now linked our Shopify store to Google Analytics. So this is a very simple process which hardly takes 5 minutes, and you will be able to connect your Shopify store to Google Analytics to get even more detailed insights on your traffic. Yes, we are done. So let's now directly go to Google Analytics and see what parameters Google Analytics provide us. Let me fetch the Google Analytics tab. I hope everyone is able to see it. So these are the points that we already got from Shopify dashboard, which include session, add to cart, checkout, and completed checkout. But on the left-hand side, you can see a point called dimensions. So Google Analytics provide multiple dimensions, like up to 365. And let's take an example like demographics. Inside demographics, let's take the category of age. When you click on that and go on age criteria, just double click it. So the parameter will reflect in your analytics dashboard. So you can see the age group where your users are coming from. Now, how this helps? This helps to target customers based on the age group, as the interest of a particular age group is different. Age group of 18 to 24, or which we call teenage to early 20s, would be more interested into fancy stuff or something related to swag or something that is trending in today's world. But different interest would be for age group that is 35 to 44. So targeted marketing can be done based on where most of your users are coming from to buy your product. That's the kind of insight we can get from this data. Let's take another dimension that analytics provide. Let's go to the dimension section. Let's select geography now. Let's go to region and country. Let's click on region. So as you can see, we have most of the users from the state in US, Virginia, and in India, Maharashtra. So how this helps? This helps to have a targeted marketing to a particular region where you can see most of your potential buyers are coming from, rather than and to an entire country, as you can spend less money and get more results out of it, because targeting a country is always costly than we target a specific region and get more out of that, more results out of that, right? You can also get insights of like from which country your traffic is coming from. Let's say this scenario, it's India, United States, Australia, and Saudi Arabia. If you want to target some other country where you feel your potential buyers can be, you can do that as well. So this kind of insights, in detail insights, can be observed from the Google Analytics dashboard. Let's take one more dimension, and let's take device type. So let's take here browser and device. So when I double click on device, just observe, Google shows exactly which device it is. So it's very crucial in today's world that our page is optimized by each device size, each screen size, and you get in depth of details of what exactly are the screens that are, or what exactly are the screen size that is coming. The most of the traffic is coming to your store. This is the depth this tool provides data to. Another example is browser. So we can see multiple browser user activity from multiple browsers like Edge, Safari, maybe Android Web View, etc., etc. So you can optimize your page to work on these browsers, the animations in the page or the infographics in the page that in case does not support any of the browser type can optimize based on the traffic you observe. So these are few parameters that I felt important and can explore, but you can check as there are n number of parameters available and you can explore to see what works best for you. So let's get back to our topic for today's webinar and let's go to the next step, which is we have so far worked on identification part. But here comes the most important thing. What's next? How we are going to work on this and reduce this. So let's look into what are the major drop-off points, the reasons behind them, and solutions. So I would like to hand over the webinar to my colleague Ananya, who will guide you further and take the webinar ahead. Ananya, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nasik, for an amazing insight on analytics. So once we know where people drop off, the next step for us is to actually fix it. So let's go through some common problem areas of customer drop-offs and see how we can address each of those pointers. First point that I'd like to discuss here is the friction in login and registration process. So customers today actually expect speed. So if you log in or the sign up process takes a lot of time or might be some outdated form or forcing account creation at the time of checkout and requiring too many fields to be filled in. So that kind of frustrates the users. So how can we fix those or address those problem areas? We can add passwordless login such as OTP login or single sign-on with multiple platforms like maybe Google, Facebook, or Apple, which kind of removes the friction for creating and remembering new passwords for different stores or different sites. And it's mostly helpful for customers, repeated customers and B2B customers who actually need quick and consistent access for placing some bulk orders. And in fact, after enabling SSO and simplifying their sign-up process, one of our D2C brands we worked with saw some around 12% of increase in users who were able to complete the checkout successfully. So, and that too within a few weeks. So that's something that we think and we have noticed over multiple stores who have shown some positive results by improving the login and registration process. The next pointer that I'd like to share here is to localize the social media login options, which is like maybe based on your target audience to be particularly helpful for some B2C users, wherein like we have noticed for Japan, we have noticed that Line has been some common social login options that people would want to integrate to their store. For China, we have seen WeChat, and maybe in UAE and India region, we mostly see that people prefer logging into the store with OTP based login, wherein they just enter their email, they will enter their phone numbers, and they receive an OTP over the phone or devices, or maybe WhatsApp, and they can validate the credentials and then proceed with the purchasing the product. The next example here I would like to showcase is that people sometimes, let's say if you are a owner of a store which has some swag products, or maybe the store is a B2B store wherein the user credentials are kind of stored in an IDP. You can connect your store with the IDP, and directly people can come log in with those particular credentials. So they won't have to remember some separate password for the website. They just have to enter those credentials and log in into the store. So that is one thing. The other part I'd like to share, like in case your store is a B2B store, you can just move forward with integrating it with Facebook, Google, or Twitter, or Apple, whichever your audience actually prefers. The next thing I'd like to share here is the part that how some wrong or bad registration forms look like. Like here in the screen, what we can see here is that there are multiple fields that we see here, which is like the gender, the anniversary, the birthday, and all of these information. We don't think that it is necessary at this particular point. Why? Because at the registration process, let's say if somebody is coming to your store, they kind of come and register. They might have some kind of hesitation of entering so many details at the initial level. So what we can do here is to just have email and the password as the compulsory field, and rest of them we can just have some optional fields, or we can just remove those fields and have those details filled in at the later stage of the registration process. Or maybe once the user is registered, post that we can have some pop-ups wherein we can just mention, hey, complete the sign up form completely. So we can do that as well. So here is a quick example of how a good registration form, which Shopify by default provide. But here, a lot of people modify this form and they kind of go around adding too many fields over the registration, so as they can have a lot of data about their customers and maybe have some marketing strategy around the same. So here we just say, just keep the same form very simple and short, so as it is quicker and it is not monotonous. They don't have to go through multiple steps here. So yeah, based on this, we have a quick poll coming your way. So it'd be great if you could just fill up that quick, answer those poll questions immediately. We'll wait for 10 seconds here. Thank you so much for answering those questions. Next that we'd like to discuss is the unexpected charges at the checkout. So this has been one of the biggest killers for any conversation. So maybe some hidden charges, shipping cost, or surprise taxes at the time of checkout could be very frustrating for any kind of user. It kind of comes as a shocker for them, and that actually drops them off the website immediately. So how we can fix these pointers is to by just transparent, just applying the mentioning the detail that yes, the taxes or maybe some extra shipping cost would be calculated at the later stage. The ideal place that we can mention this particular message is maybe on the cart page or on the product. But let's say even if not there, we can just have a banner there over the website and mention that there might be some additional charges aligned to it. The main purpose here is it doesn't come at us as a shocker, and it can be just all the costing can come up upfrontly. The next that we can do here is to maybe offer some small incentives here, like free first delivery or maybe free shipping above a particular amount. So there are multiple applications available here, which is, for example, Lock-On, using which you can just apply some automatic discounts over the first delivery, first purchase of users, and maybe based on the cart size as well. So this kind of softens the blow of some additional costing at the time of checkout. The next pointer that I'd like to highlight here is the location-based restriction. So what majorly happens, like geo-blocking or unavailable services can actually sometimes put the customer as well as the merchant in a very embarrassing situation, wherein, like, let's say, but on the flip side, that these restrictions are a lot of times very necessary. For example, like if the merchant cannot ship to certain country or maybe region due to some logistic or legal reasons, or maybe due to some high shipping costs, what ends up actually happening is that somebody comes, places an order on the store, and from the restricted region, the merchants then, while fulfilling the order, they find out that the product cannot be shipped to that particular place. They'll have to manually cancel and refund that particular order. So that does not only actually affect the customer trust, but also waste a lot of resources of, let's say, marketing or revenue on some unqualified traffic. So how we can fix this? We can just communicate these restrictions like prior to people completing the checkout process completely. So what we can do here is to just inform the customer earlier in the journey, maybe with a banner or some relevant messages on the product itself, with some location based messages, wherein maybe this product is not available at your location, or if there is any sign up process, or maybe request a delivery to that particular location, you can just mention there as a message. So yeah, there are multiple applications here again which are available over the Shopify platform, which you can explore. I have a quick demo for the lock-on application, which can help detect the location of the user, the visitor. We can hide the content based on the location, and we can just show some friendly messages there. What here we see is I have a pre-configured lock here over a product, wherein we see a gift card was kind of applied the lock, and that was actually restricted to the location India. Now here, once I visit the store, we see that the gift card is now being restricted, and I can see a clear message here. So yeah, so that's about it. It can be very quicker, and these messages come up upfront, and there's no confusion, or no such scenarios might occur wherein people place an order, and then they have to receive a message that, hey, this product cannot be fulfilled at your location, we are canceling the orders or something like that. So that's it. And now we have a quick poll coming your way. So it'd be great if you could just fill that up. We'll wait for 10 seconds again. Okay, thank you so much for filling the answer. So now moving on to the next point is the payment page abandonment. So let's say if somebody comes, puts in all the effort of browsing through the store, found something that they liked, they might have added to their cart, and post that, they proceed to the checkout, and once they click the checkout, why would somebody want to drop off from that particular point? Like, if everything worked for them, what was the exact point that actually didn't work for them? So this often comes down to the final hurdle, which is the trust or some poor experience with the payment page. Like, even these small issues can actually cost us the sale. So what we can do here, maybe there might also be scenarios wherein some slow or buggy gateways can actually frustrate the users. Like, if your payment page or lacks some security indicators, some trust badges or something like that, customers a lot of time tends to hesitate to enter their card details. And a lot of times, let's say if I am facing some payment failure on some gateway, I can also choose some other option. But if there are some limited options available there, so maybe I'll not go for placing those that particular order. Maybe I'll switch the site, or somebody else who are offering the same product at the similar costing, I like to go for that one. So to address this issue, we should have at least 4 to 5 payment gateways options, like multiple trusted payment gateways options over the store, like ShopPay, PayPal, or connected with some local wallets, or UPI options can also be available. Or whatever your audience can prefer. You have to analyze what might be your target audience, and according to that, you can have some payment gateways integrated, maybe also based on the location as well. The next point I'd like to address is optimizing the UI for mobile users could actually be a game changer here. Why? Because maybe most of the shoppers today actually browse and buy directly from the phones. So a cluttery or maybe a slow mobile experience, especially at the checkout page, can actually instantly drive them away. So what we can have a very smooth experience for at least the mobile users as well as the tablet users. So it is very necessary for them as well. The next point we'd like to share is to highlight the secure checkout messages or trust badges right at the time where they are actually placing the order, maybe on the checkout or on the cart page, wherein people can have some faith over the site that they are placing order from a very trusted site and not randomly from any site. There could be some trust badges over there. You can utilize this trust site or not unsecured tools like these, and you can integrate them directly to your store to display those badges. So here the major focus here is to make them feel more confident, comfortable, so as they are more likely that they complete the purchase process. So that's the main perspective here. So these drop-off points are some of the most common and impactful points that we have come across on various stores that we have worked with. And even addressing a few of them can actually lead to a noticeable boost in the conversion rates here. So moving on, even with all of these right optimizations in place, sometimes the drop-ups are still bound to happen. And that's why some re-engagement strategies are also very important and are equally equivalent to some prevention for your store. So let's talk about some of those effective strategies to actually bring those customers back and recover the potential lost sale here. So, like most stores today rely on just email abandoned cart recovery. But honestly, that's not anymore enough for any user or business owners. To improve the conversion chances, we have to use some multiple channel outreach, like maybe SMS or WhatsApp, and ideally together in a combination would be a great choice. What makes the difference here is not just the channel, but also the timing and the personalization here. Let's say if we remind them in a hour of where they had left the cart, mention the exact and what product they had left, add some small time bound incentives like offering some percentage off for the next 2 hours or maybe 24 hours. So these pointers can actually help customers to understand that actually they can go and purchase if at all pricing was ever the reason. Moving on to the next, we have a few common cart abandonment exam notification examples here. Like in the first example, we can see that they have offered a special 5% off on the checkout page, wherein I can just go and apply that particular code and I can complete my purchase process. The next example, I can see I'm getting a flat 20% off in my hotel bookings, and it would be valid for next 30 days. The last one which we see, they have mentioned the product that I had left, and they're also mentioning the product is running out of stock. So as they are trying to create an urgency there, so as I can come and complete the product complete the purchase of that particular product. And also they have mentioned some 10% off at the time of checkout with the code that they've provided. So these are the ways how we can actually have some abandoned cart notifications integrated over the store. So yeah, the next point that I like to highlight here is to have some reward point system here. Let's say like offering some reward points for each actions, like maybe signing up or placing first time order, actually creates an immediate sense of value for the customers. What we actually see is why actually this works is because it actually taps into the psychology of earning something back. Like if customers actually feel when they are getting more and more product, they're just not getting the product, they're also getting some rewards along with that. And they are starting to get into a proper relation with the brand, and they're getting rewards for engaging with that particular product or brand that where they have subscribed or purchased the product from. So this not only actually encourages the initial conversation, but also increases the likelihood that they'll return, they'll redeem those points and drive repeated purchase and some loyalty, long-term loyalty over here. Based on these discussions, we have a quick poll coming your way. It would be great if you could just fill it up within the next 10 seconds. Okay. Moving on to the last pointer here. We have multiple solutions that can actually help soothe the entire customer journey from login to the checkout. And here are some quick overview of the applications that we offer on the Shopify App Store. You can go through them at your convenience, and do let us know. Do reach out to us over the email in case you would like to have some demos around the same. So to wrap it up, small fixes at the right points can actually make those big differences here. Easier maybe login process, clearer pricing, and fewer surprises at the time of checkout can actually soothen the payment process, and even some smart follow-up strategies altogether can actually turn drop-offs into some great conversions. So here, our advice here would be just don't hesitate to experiment with these strategies. Test what actually works best for your customers, for your business, and see all the stores are unique, so you'll have to analyze which strategy actually works for your business and customers. So with that, we'll open the floor for questions. Thank you so much for your time. We hope you found this session very helpful, and you are leaving with ideas that you can come and test it around. So yeah, thank you so much.